There you go. All right, we're doing this. It's tea time. We have very special guests this time. This is very unexpected. I'm like a little shook. I'm not going to lie. We have J.Slai,
What's up?
House of Panda.
Yo, what's up?
What is happening right now, Timothy?
We got the king of Latin hard dance right here. The king of Speed House World, or Speed World now, right? Speed World?
Speed World.
Speed House Legends.
Yeah.
Literally in our building right now.
So we have J.Slai here. Do you guys want to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes.
Here, you got some water.
I don't know what happened. I was like, what the hell?
It happens, man. It happens when you meet me, you know what I'm saying? Just kidding. Yeah, I'm J.Slai. I'm a Latin hard dance producer. I do hard dance. I do hard dance in different types of genres. My main focus right now is Latin hard dance, and then obviously I know House of Panda because he was one of the first people to sign my songs through like Speed House movement. And if he wants to talk a little bit more about that.
Yo, House of Panda from Canada. And I'm out here in LA with J.Slai. We came out here to do a little video shoot for our new song Speed Wobbles. It's out now on Barong Family.
Insert song here.
Yeah. But we met on Twitter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was Instagram. Yeah.
Or Instagram
It was
DMs, yeah.
DMs. I slid in the DMs.
Yeah, he slid in my DMs and he's like, "Yo, is this track Speed House?" And I was like, "Yo, this is fire. Let's sign it."
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I was like, I just like how fast house. So I was like, is this Speed House? And he's like, yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we all met on Twitter at one point or another.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been following
for
you
sure.
for
I feel like that's
years.
It was all through like 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID
The
times.
pandemic brought us together.
It's literally
Yeah.
when our story starts on Shitty Friends. I don't know about you.
Yeah. No, I definitely.
That's literally COVID was when it started it all
Yeah.
for us.
No, definitely. I don't even know where to start with all those shitty friends from the
my
beginning to now. There's all types of interesting characters that you run into during the industry and stuff.
But yeah, I feel like honestly, social media it's been like a gateway for us new artists, and it kind of excuse the dog in the background, but yeah, it's been a gateway for us as new artists to like meet legends like you and just
Oh man.
get notice and our flowers sometimes when we need them the most.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think because everybody was like online in 2020, that's how we all met, right?
Yeah.
And like everybody was doing live streams, and everybody was hopping on each other's like live streams and supporting each other. And then and I was like, I met you on Twitter after one of my live streams.
I think so. Yeah, I think I forgot what year it was. I think it was 2018 or 19. I forgot where DJ Snake and Jaws, they did this like house song, Gassed
Up, yeah.
And I remember I was like with my friend Matt Philly, who actually did release on your label
Yeah,
a few
yeah.
years ago. I was like, dude, this shit is so cool. It's like really fast house. And he was like, dude, he's like, you ever heard of House of Panda? Like he does this shit. And then like he had shown me your stuff, and I was like, yo, this shit is tight. Yeah. And so I just been following you ever since. So it's been
Shout
a
out
while.
Matt Philly.
Yeah, I know. The boy. And then I think I met you online like 2019, 2020. I don't know. I would always see you just tweet, just like funny ass shit.
It's just tweeting unhinged
Unhinged
shit.
shit on Twitter. I need to come back because I've been taking a break. But that's pretty much. I met a lot of people through Twitter and stuff like that. And then, like you said, it's a good gateway to go into people's DMs and kind of shoot your shot, because like with Panda, it was like, all right, let's see. I don't even know if he's going to answer me because I don't know him like that, But yeah, it became like a good friendship. And then now we have like really cool projects together. So that's what comes from like sliding in DMs, guys. So do it.
I love that. They're not always going to answer. I'm sure there's tons of people that we
Yeah.
reach out to that like are like, who the fuck are you, and don't answer us back.
I try to
But-
answer, but you know, sometimes it's hard to like manage it. You know.
Yeah, and it gets at a certain point, the DMs I feel like are just exploding. You know,
Yeah.
especially when like I don't know, a new release is coming out. Like depending on what like your social media looks like at the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it could get like flooded.
Yeah, and then like, I don't like to be like chronically online all the time, right? So it's like if I skip it if I miss it like that day, and the next day I have other DMs, and it's like sometimes I miss stuff that's like 2-3 days old, right? So
Yeah,
it's hard. It's like you can't get to everybody, but try.
I would love to have those problems.
I am so bad at opening up like my text messages, my DMs. Like I have like 400 unread text messages.
This man,
Yeah.
I can't. Could never.
Most of
really.
them are like automated shit, but like there's other things of conversations I'm sure I've missed and stuff. It's like I like kind of feel the same. Like I like social media, like consuming it sometimes, but I don't like to be on it 24/7 where I'm just like super social butterfly. My whole life's on it type thing.
I need like real life peace too,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No,
I
definitely.
don't be looking at the phone all day.
Yeah, it's bad for your mental health. I
Yeah,
feel,
it is.
personally. But you know what else is bad for your mental health?
What?
Shitty industry friends.
Oof. We went straight there.
We're really going there
0
today.
to 100. We're
She
only
went to
5
200
minutes in.
BPM.
We go hard over here, you guys.
200 BPM speed house. There you go.
No, but I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it's almost a rite of passage when you kind of experience this industry friend. And I don't know if you've had similar experiences, but for us personally, we've had some people that have played a mentor like role in our lives that just turned out to like our relationship ended up only being transactional, pretty much is what it seemed like. I don't know if you've ever had
I feel like
situation
that there's gonna be a lot of that in the industry, right? Because I think any kind of entertainment industry, a lot of people, when you have a lot of money and fame involved, then it's gonna bring about some kind of like, I guess like shitty aspects of humans. So yeah, it's to be expected, right?
It almost feels like to certain people like there's so much on the line that like they're willing to just not even give a shit about even like their closest friends.
Some people just do not know how to tame their ego. Like obviously I feel like to be an artist, you have to have some type of level of ego. Like,
Right.
Like I think that's just natural
Yeah.
in all of us. But there's just some people, they don't know how to tame it, and they're just like, bro, I'm him. And they don't give a fuck about anybody else. And it's really
Like
shitty.
it comes down to like self-awareness too, and knowing that are you at this level, or are you actually being real with yourself? Because there's inflated ego when you're just acting like someone you're not, and it's like that brings about a lot of trouble too. So
That happens a lot, like when you produce with someone that, like you sit down in the studio and you're producing with someone and you're butting heads while you're making this music because they feel like they know more than you, and so that's like the inflated ego. But like in reality, you can both contribute to the song equally, and then a lot of times that kind of ruins the friendship because it's like you thought you guys were both kind of on an even playing field, but then like they thought different.
yeah, Pharrell was talking about this in the video I seen recently, where he says like you have to like check your ego at the door before you come in the studio to work, and he says that he's very good at like bringing people's ego down so they can actually work without having that in the way.
What's the secret?
Someone like that. Literally, what is the secret? I'm curious.
Another secret to that.
Keeping people in check. I don't know.
There's got to be a way. I
Yeah.
gotta know. Pharrell, tell your secrets.
It was like
right
an
now.
Instagram clip. I didn't see the whole interview, but yeah,
Sounds
he
interesting.
briefly talked about it.
So what's your story with like a mentor? Let's break the
What
ice
should
there.
we call him? What's
No,
the
he always
name?
has a bunch of different names.
Let's call him the mentor, number one.
Call him Chester. Or we just come
He
up with the most
comes up
goofiest
with
names.
the goofiest names. I swear to God. What were the other ones that you had in the episode one? It was like
It was
Sheldon.
and I don't know what the other
something else. Oh my God. We'll call him Chester. Yeah, we'll just call him Chester.
What happened?
So, I mean, we met in COVID times. It was kind of like a similar situation where like he was doing demo streams, we were sending them in, he was like loving all of them. Him and I were in there like almost every week, pretty much, and kind of like built this community we thought of friends, right? So, I mean, I don't even know where it started, babe. There are so many like points of this situation. Should we talk about where we flew out for free to do a show for him?
Yeah, I mean, so we were building like a really strong connection online. We were constantly in the demo streams, and that turned into like, okay, now like we're a part of the inner circle versus like everybody else that were just in the streams, because they just really liked our stuff.
Or we thought, because I really don't feel like we were ever in the inner circle.
Well, that's how it was like painted. Like that's how it appeared.
It was a separate chat.
Yes. Yeah, there was in fact a separate chat without
we
us.
were
I
in the
can
green room.
guarantee you.
We were in the green room finally. We made it.
There was another green room.
We got the green room, but not the AA pass. You know.
That part.
So yeah, like we finally, got in with them, and they were like, "Yo, we really believe in you guys as artists. We love your stuff." Then it was like, "Oh, we have a show," because it was during the pandemic, and the pandemic was slowly coming to an end. It didn't really exist in Vegas, and that's where the show was at. And so they're like, "We're gonna do this big label showcase." It was supposed to be for EDC week, but EDC ended up getting postponed till October. But we still ended up doing it that year.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. But we were just told off the jump, like, you might get paid, but we don't know. Which is kind of like, well, I don't know. Like,
I will never
how do
do
you
this
not
again,
know?
by the way.
Because like we've done shows now. Like I've like led like 3 shows myself. She's led like 3 or 4 shows herself. Like we've done shows, and like we know right off the bat if we're gonna be able to pay anybody just based off of how like the budget's looking, and we'll be very transparent.
Oh yeah.
Right off the jump, when I'm booking somebody, I already know their set time, if I'm paying them or not.
Yeah.
And I'm giving them the option, and I tell them straight up, I'm not going to take no hard feelings if you don't like what the pay is, or if there's no pay involved. And I'll tell them maybe why there's no pay involved. Be like, because we're not even going to get paid. Like, we're lucky if we break even.
Yeah, I organize shows too in the Bay Area, so like, right, like I know what our budget is and what it could be. So like, you got to think like in your mind when you're booking someone, you have to know like, I can give this person this amount of money, and it's gonna hurt me, but there's a chance that I'm gonna make that money back. That's just how it is when you're throwing shows. But then, what did this person tell you?
No, yeah. So they were just like,
He was
no
like,
one's gonna get paid, but we might. But the problem was I know why they really couldn't promise anybody getting paid is because like everybody had like it was like thrown in a back to back, and it was like 30-minute sets, and there was like 500 people on the lineup. Like it was like a showcase, and it was cool.
One of those parties.
The amount of back to back, it was all back to backs,
Yeah.
except for 2 freaking people, the main people on the goddamn lineup.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
otherwise it was all back to backs. I don't mind it at all, but it was just, I don't know. Long story short, it was a moment where it was like we did it out of love. You know what I mean? We knew we were not going to get paid, but we loved them very much. We wanted to show support. We wanted to show we were ride or die. So we did it. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, no, we did not get paid. There was no payment.
That's why there's good promoters and there's bad promoters out here too, right? So, so.
Like, for example, with Babbage's Only right now, what I tell people is, like, at the end of the day, we all of the DJs on the lineup, we make a certain percentage that the bar gives back. So it's 10% to start, and it could go up to 15% depending on how much the bar makes. So I tell them, we all split that. I'm like, I'm not even making anything because I pay for the artwork. Like, I get a lot of promo done on it. I'm maybe on a bad night, most we'll make is like $40 each. And I can understand how for some people that's not what you would want to do, but it's important to like say that.
Yeah,
you
set
know what
the
I mean?
expectation.
Yeah, it's good to be like transparent, like upfront, so people know what to expect.
Yeah, I'm always going into it and like telling them like you're not gonna get paid, or you're only gonna get paid this much, just because you don't want to make like empty promises, because that could definitely not be a good look. Like, it's just better. The honesty is the best policy when it comes to booking people, because it just creates drama, and it's like you don't want to create drama with these people.
Well, the artists can, they can decide if it's worth it for them. Like there's like a point in time where I took a lot of shows for really cheap because I needed content, right?
Yeah.
And so like for me it made sense because I was gonna bring my photographer, but like as an organizer, like I'm like, hey, I'm gonna provide a photographer for you. You're gonna get like content, and you don't have to pay for it. I pay for it. And so then whatever we get from the house, we split. And so for them, like it's worth it, you know. But it just depends. Like as an artist, you have to weigh that out.
Yeah, no, definitely. But kind of just pivoting into that, like, we did that for them, and it was fun, and I understand like why maybe they couldn't get us paid. Like it was a free RSVP event, but we did, have a good show there, and like it was in Vegas, so like everything's inflated. Like you would think that we would get something, but also at the same time, there's like 500 artists on the bill, and we're all doing 30-minute sets back to backs. Like, I guess there's only so much you could do. But I mean, it was like a cool opportunity. We were very appreciative of it at the time. But it's just like, I think these people specifically kind of forgot like the things that we were doing for them that like we could be charging for, but we were like, no, like we're gonna invest into the brand and be a part of like the crew.
Yeah.
And it's just like our I feel like our loyalty wasn't really recognized, and like literally from that point on, I want to say that within like 7 or 8 months we weren't even friends anymore. And now an ad from Temu.
We're back.
100% off your first order.
So I'm not going to say what this composure of art was, because I feel like that would literally give it away if people just look on my Instagram. But I showed him a bunch of songs that I wanted to release on that label because it was always a dream, his label. It was always a dream of mine to do that. Like, I've loved this man since I saw him literally like open up for one of my favorite DJs. So it was always a goal in mind to show him that. And at the time he said, yes, like we're going to release this. And it was May at the time. And
it was the weekend of that party that we played. It was because I remember
that was in May. No,
was it in May? I thought it was in June. No, you know what? It was at the end of May. You're right.
Yeah, it was in May, and he said we're going to release this in September.
Yeah.
And literally, time comes and goes, and of course, guess what happens? September comes, and there's no word at all. And it almost gets to the point where I feel like I'm bothering him. And the thing is that he actually like gets the artwork done. When we had the conversation initially,
you had the artwork for this already.
Oh, he got it done, which was confusing to me because it again felt like I was bothering him.
Yeah.
But then he had the artwork and everything. And listen, one of the first conversations we had about this is he was like, I know how much love and like emotion you put into this, and I want you to release it on a label who is going to put as much love into it as you did. And that spoke to me. And then time passes and things are slowly unraveling. Artwork is done and everything. But I tell him, I'm like, listen, if you want to hold off on this, I can give you guys another song and I can just keep it. I was like, I know you've got a lot going on right now, so it doesn't have to be like this. Yeah. And he told me in that conversation, no, we're going to do it. Like, this is what we want to do. Like,
so
we're prepping.
He already communicated that.
Communicated it and everything. And, I know that in a lot of labels, there's not a lot of budget for promo. I understand that. I personally don't have budget for promos sometimes. But my thing is when that happens, we should be coming up with some kind of plan to do like social media on our own. TikToks, IG Reels, something like together that does not cost money to where we can promo this. And he literally threw a Twitch party, like a last Twitch party the day of the release, completely unrelated to the EP, and did not even invite me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad.
And I remember when I talked to them about it and like the group, they were like, well, she lived in Vegas. We didn't think that she would come. And I was like, but you didn't bother to just ask her? I'm like, she's my girlfriend. She would have drove down here. Like,
Yeah.
If I would have told her, like, hey, like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, well, we thought it was super last minute. I'm like, okay, again, you didn't bother to just ask her at least? Like, at least ask. At least make the
Yeah,
attempt.
Vegas not that far away from here.
No, it's a 4-hour drive.
Yeah.
I did it all the time.
It's a 1 hour plane ride.
I did it all the
Like,
time.
that's like $100 plane ride. Like, you know, it's, and she would have did it because she's trying to promote it.
Yeah.
But they did little to no, like, things to promote it. You know, I was a part of this
They did
project
nothing.
as well.
They did nothing. They paid for the artwork. That was it.
They paid for the artwork. They did the master on like one song.
Oh yeah, which they made me pay for anyways. I don't see shit until they make back their mastering stuff. So
And then, like, they were saying that they were going to do like a pre-save contest and, you know, things like interactive things, because they have somewhat of a following. You know, they're not like crazy big, but, like, you know, they're definitely, you know, somewhat up there, and they're connected to a lot of big guys and stuff. So, you know, we're thinking that we can get some good exposure, you know, everybody gets to know like who she is, who I am and stuff. And it was just like the most laziest like release plan I've ever seen. Like, honestly, with the way the release plan went, we could have just released it ourselves. And we would've put it on the
literally,
That's
and
like the
my
worst thing ever.
I hate.
Yeah.
I regret it. It's my biggest regret. That was probably the project with the most passion I've ever put in, because it was like a story of my life in a way with songs, and I just felt like it was not worth it. And what were you gonna say?
That's definitely not rare in the industry, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
It happens too often, I see.
Yeah. That's why it's like, you know, you kind of have to go hard for yourself. And like, once you depend on somebody, you get like so disappointed. And it's like, you just got to go hard for yourself.
And you know what? I never depended on anybody else after that ever again. I feel like that was
I was
an
gonna say,
essential
so like those type of releases, like they have to happen in your career where somebody that you were really excited to release with ends up releasing your song and just doing no promotion on it. It has to happen so that you understand the value of going hard for yourself. Because
For real.
if it doesn't happen, then you never actually realize, like, damn, I can actually do the same shit that they were doing myself. I could just do it myself. Fuck it, I don't need them. And so that's when like you start to build your own shit. And then, you know, but those things have to happen.
Yeah, you gotta go through these hoops like to kind of like see these things, you know. At one point, we all had this dream. At one point, we were like, I can't wait to sign my first record and everything's gonna be all good, you know.
no.
Like, you
Not
know, you
that
like produce your
one.
first couple of songs and you like, and then you tell your friends, yo, I just got signed to, like, you know, it could be like some small label, but you think like, you know, that's like your gateway to playing EDC now, and it's like, and it's like you have to go through all these little hoops to even understand, like, you know, that eventually you
I just
have
gotta
to, like,
get one song of Mad Decent. and
I'm
set.
dead.
yeah, you know,
That was
we all had
plan.
this mindset when we were very young, and then, you know, you go through all these things, you see how the industry works a little more, and then you realize that, you know, you have to be the one that has to go hard for you, you know.
Yeah, so true.
And you know what? Like, just to preface as well, like, I'm going to take ownership of my shit also, because, like, Baby Good Trouble was a little argumentative. I'm sure we did
Really?
some things. I'm sure we did some things that, like, did not make them happy, like our little Twitter fight a long time ago, that they both sat us down and like had conversations with us on how we're not supposed. Mind you, we had less than 100 followers at the time. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I was reading.
Who's gonna?
I was like, oh shit, this is good. Popcorn.
I mean,
Jay was waiting for it.
Right. I get their point. And my thing is like, looking back again, I'm sure we did things that they did not like. But my thing is like, if I'm a true friend to you, I'm going to have a conversation with you privately and tell you like what you did that's bothering me. And I'm not just going to cut you off. You know what I mean? Of course,
Not everybody's good at communication, though.
we've learned, unfortunately.
If you're pushing 40, you should probably be good at communicating.
Oh, you feel like, oh man, I know people
You'd be
pushing 50.
surprised.
I know people pushing 60 that have horrible at communication. I'm not gonna say no names, but
It'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, dude. I mean, again, it was things that like could have been solved with like a simple conversation, and instead it was just like so dramatic for no reason. You know,
yeah,
unfortunately.
happens, and we just live and learn. We keep, you know,
Yeah.
makes us you know, work harder for ourselves,
Yeah.
stronger. So
I feel like ever since then, me a little bit, but he's been very cautious of like the people that we bring into our lives. Of like,
I mean, yeah, you gotta be like you gotta protect like your kind of energy too, right? And you gotta
Right.
pick and choose who you let into like your inner circle. So
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
It's very true.
What about that last conversation you had with him though? That was entertaining.
Yeah. Well, where do I start?
it's running through his mind. He's like, oh, what
The
can I
tea.
say?
Like, how
He's
can I
having
censor this?
trauma
Stirring
right
the
now.
stirring the pot really quick. No.
Briefly, like long
Well,
story
okay,
short.
basically, like they were kind of being shady. Like
They're being shady to everybody.
Well,
there
yeah.
was a lot of stuff coming out about them,
Yeah, like they're-
on,
they're
on
being-
Twitter.
yeah, they're being shady. Like we had like a song that we were supposed to work on, and then he was like, "Oh, sorry, bro. Like I don't have time to get in the studio." But then I see him in the studio like every day with other DJs and even people that are like not even known, like people he's trying to teach to produce. I'm
No,
just
with
like,
you was silent.
But with me, it was silent, and I understand. I get it. We're all busy. Like I'm not gonna take it to heart, But that's just like one of many things. He started getting very distant. I was inviting him out to things. He didn't want to come to them anymore.
Blocked us from viewing his stories.
He blocked us.
Oh, that's weird.
He blocked us from viewing a story, and the only reason why we knew was because we had created a Risky and Friends page because we had just thrown the first party.
Yeah.
And I gave her access to it because she was trying to like follow people and get other people to follow us and stuff and like engage with other accounts. And she was like, I didn't know that so-and-so posted a story today. She's like, did you see this?
in Vegas.
In Vegas. And she was living in Vegas at the time. And I was like, no, I didn't. And like we both looked and we're like, he doesn't have any stories on his page.
Story block. Oof.
Yeah. And it was kind of like, well, that's kind of weird.
Story blocks.
So I hit him up about it personally, and I was just like, hey, bro, like, I saw you blocked me from a story. Like, what's up with that? Like, we were close enough to where I can talk to him and, like, ask him directly, like, yo, what's good? It wasn't like
what was
somebody...
the answer to that? That's a hard one.
Please.
The answer was simply, hey, I'm just protecting my energy right now.
No. He pulled a page from Panda.
At that point, I'm sure you can imagine me when I got that news. I was fucking livid.
I was like, so what does that...
livid.
And I was like, what does that mean? Because that can mean a lot of different things. That can mean, like, you know what, I'm blocking a lot of people because I just don't want anybody to see what's going on in my life right now, and I just want to be private. So I said, like, you just protecting your energy, like, because you just want to be by yourself right now? Or is it, like, because of me? Like, what does that mean? No response.
None.
So I was just like, okay. And then that same day, I texted somebody else that was a part of the label that we were all good friends with, and I was like, "Yo, do you know what's going on with so and so? Because he's acting kind of funny, and he like blocked me from his stories." And he was like, "LOL, that's crazy. Like he blocked from his stories. That's wild." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, right? It's like, do you know? Did he block you from his stories? Like, what's going on with that?" And he was like, "I don't know. He's probably like upset about like, you and your girl." And I was like, what about us? And he was like,
This is the Twitter thing that we were talking about.
and then it was it had been like 2 months post that. It wasn't even really about that. He was just like, no one's really a fan of y'all being in a relationship with each other. And I was just like, wasn't that my decision?
Yeah.
like is that like her decision? Like I get it, like, a lot of people kind of knew what was going on with us at the time and shit, relationships.
I'm just gonna give a little like brief play-by-play. Listen, I'm 31 now. Tim just turned. Go ahead and tell him.
26.
Yes. So we have a 5-year age difference.
I love MILFs.
Cradle robber.
That's literally what her mom said the moment she found out my age.
Okay.
I love MILFs. What can I say?
Anyways, we emotionally and mentally had a phase where we had a lot of things to work out. Not that it's anyone's fucking
Well,
business.
you guys were beefing on Twitter.
We were beefing on Twitter. Me and him were beefing on Twitter.
For like an hour.
It was
She's
stressful.
not in the streets, yo.
We had a lot to learn, and we learned it at a young artist age. Thank God we don't do that anymore.
I mean, we were still
but
pretty young, though. I mean,
I
like,
know.
I was like...
You were stupid young.
21.
I think I was like 23 at the time. And she was, what, 20... 28.
Yeah.
28, yeah, around there.
Something
yeah.
like that, you know? So it's like, and we're still really young in the game. Like, you know, you learn shit. You know, people can't act like they've never done some stupid shit on social media. Said something crazy.
We're
you know?
human. No, I'm sorry, but there's no one out there that's like never gonna make a fucking mistake. Okay.
We can talk about what I did on Twitter. I
did
made
you
everybody
do?
angry. Do you
What
remember
did
that?
you do?
Yeah.
You want to give
I
him the
feel like
rundown
I know
on
what
that?
this is, but
Wait,
you need to refresh
what?
my mind.
Okay, no, spill the
This
tea.
is a spicy summer. Was this 2021?
When was the year you released the first compilation?
2020.
Yeah,
2020.
you're right. It was 2020.
Yeah. So we just put out Speed House Volume 1, Speed House Movement Volume 1 compilation. And then it was like J.Slai, a bunch of like artists at the time. And it was like a 12-track like album compilation. And then I had asked each artist on the comp to make a video and like, you know, like how did you discover Speed House? What does Speed House mean to you? And just like talk about your track. So everyone made that, but like I guess most of the artists aren't on Twitter. But J.Slai's put his on Twitter, and then people went in on him.
So basically, in the
Why?
video, I was just saying like, hey, you know, one day I was producing like house, and I sped it up to 150, and it sounded good to me. It's something I had never heard before because the genre was pretty new, and then everybody from the UK thought it was like it sounded like what is it? UK
Basically
garage.
saying it's like UK Garage and Speed Garage. I mean, like, I think because of your specific track, there is sounds that are similar like that. And
Yeah.
I see where they're coming from, but then a lot of the songs on the album weren't like that, you know. So we were saying like, you know, it is, you know, it like when I made Speed House, it was inspired from like UK Garage, Speed Garage, Hard House, but also like, you know, American Bass House and Electro House too. Like all these things combined, because it can incorporate so many different kinds of sound design, right? Yeah.
But they took it as like we were like Christopher Columbusing like this genre that was already like
Oh my god.
they really should like they thought we were Christopher Columbusing this genre that was already like established, but this is a completely different genre from that. So I got death threats from people.
Oh, you know what? I
Like-
do remember this. They were like,
Yeah.
saying y'all are appropriating culture.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it was like pretty crazy. So like I'm not the type to stay quiet. Like when people come for me, like I'm gonna come for you back.
That's right.
But
Tell
that's-
them, like,
The Hispanic and all of us.
The thing I learned that day, just like you said, when you're younger, you tend to like just act on things, and so I was just clapping back at everybody, like every single day. Like I knew it was.
and
it
then
was
how exhausting did that get?
it
after
gets
a
really
while?
exhausting, man.
Yeah,
It was hectic, but then after a while, like I had you guys know Shade.
I've heard of Shane.
So Shade reached out to me. He's like I look up to him because he was doing really good with his project, and he's like, hey, you gotta stop like feeding the dragon. And I was like, that was like the best like way to like picture it, you know, because like you're literally feeling the fire. And I was like, yeah, you're right. Like I can just shut up and then get over it.
Because people love to be online and argue. You know?
Oh, they do.
They just love it. Some people
They
just, like,
love to poke the shit out
yeah,
of you, dude.
like. So like, there's always gonna be people out there that, you know, they're gonna give all their time to that, and you just like it's never gonna end. So
Yeah. That's it. I'm not gonna lie. That's exactly what I was doing in this time period as well.
But I mean, like we weren't doing anything wrong. Like even like Jordan, who was working at Beatport, the one that got Speed House onto Beatport as a subgenre, you know, had her back. She was like, "Yo, like guys, this has inspiration from it, but it's not even exactly the same." Like,
Right.
You know, like name one like song you're speaking of that's exactly the same as one of these songs on this album. It's not even the same. It's like they're all inspired from these sounds and they kind of like create this new thing.
Yeah.
Because even when I was doing Speed House, I didn't want to coin it as something new, you know, because I was just learning to produce at the time, and I had like my mentor Bass Clef, and I even asked him, I'm like, yo, like, do you think it's cool if I should name this something, or should I just call it like still Bass House? Because at the time when it was on Beatport, it didn't fit into like what was on the Bass House category at the time, you know,
Right,
like everything
yeah.
was 128 and my stuff was like 145, 150.
Yeah,
but
it would
wasn't
make sense.
But it wasn't hard dance either, because it was like it had like the Bass House drums, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he's like, I think you definitely call it, you know. And like, you know, my mentor, he's been in the industry for a long time, and he's like, dude, like this is something in its own lane. And then
Yeah.
even same thing with Jordan from Beatport. She's like, yeah, this is something in its own lane, you know.
Yeah.
So
And rightfully so. I feel like it is its own genre. I mean,
Yeah,
that was
no.
fucking wild.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
that was,
like,
that was a wild year.
wild
That was-
time.
in the trenches on Twitter.
Dude.
Yeah, the worst part is like I was coming from like a place of like innocence because I
Yeah.
really didn't know what it was, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm not like too hip on like older genres, to be honest with you guys, because I come from like a hip hop background and like a metal
Yeah.
background, so like I didn't grow up listening to EDM, and I still kind of don't listen to EDM. I just kind of listen to stuff that's different, you know, so that when I go into the studio, I'm not thinking about what like Joyride made
Yeah.
or whatever so and so made. I think about like what inspires me.
Yeah.
He's one of them rocker fools.
It's rocker foods, bro.
Even like the stuff now, like the younger fans, maybe they're not as educated on the older genres, right? So they kind of just lump everything into like speed house if they think it's like 150, but it's like, you know, like maybe this is just hard dance or maybe this is a hard house, you know? Because I think some of the stuff like alert stuff, like he never really categorized his music as speed house because his stuff is more close to like, you know, like 90s hard house with like you know the offbeat donks and stuff like that, you know. Because
Yeah.
I wasn't calling that speed house. I was calling like the stuff that was like the bass house and electro house sounds at 145 and up, like speed house, right? And then it kind of like those two things kind of came together, and now anything with like a donk and like and like, you know, those kind of, you know, house drums at 150 is like speed house now.
Yeah, it became like an element, I think, after a while.
Yeah.
Of like speed house, like you can incorporate it and it still kind of passes as speed house.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point it rightfully deserved to be called its own genre, you know. I feel like people get on Twitter just to fucking fight sometimes.
That's the
and
internet.
that's essentially what
People
it was.
just like, you know, like you have to have a special kind of mind to like feed your limited energy to that all day, and it's like people just live for that. Yeah. Even like IG comments, you know, it's like
it was rough. It took me a long time to learn not to give people my energy. It wasn't until like I called him like breaking down because I was like arguing with these people who don't even fucking know me on Twitter. And for what? For them to like laugh anyways,
Yeah,
you
there's no
know,
point.
like there's no point. And the energy, like just the actual exhaustion.
sometimes you can change someone's mind, but most of the time you're not.
No, you're not. Especially with some people. Like,
need-
one of them was literally a social media manager. Like, she gets paid to be on the fucking internet. So it's
yeah.
like, you know, she's just
Yeah.
gonna fight.
Yeah, it's very, very rare you can change someone's opinion on the internet. It's more of like you have to be in person with them and have like this kind of conversation to like, you
Yes.
know.
Well, they won't tell you that shit in person.
No, they won't.
They would never.
They'll be like,
They would
"Hi,
never.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I
my
love
thing.
Speed House."
See, my thing, my thing is like, that's what gets me. Is that like literally it gets to the point where I tell these people like I want to fight. And then you
Where you
become
at?
like
Yeah,
the
where you-
crazy
where you
bitch.
at?
You become
Send
the
me
crazy
location.
bitch on Twitter. I'm like, give me your fucking address right now. We're gonna throw hands today.
I just feel like arguing with people on the internet is almost kind of pointless because like
It is
the point of an argument is you're trying to like get
Prove a point,
get each other to see each other's side and kind of come to an understanding.
Yeah, I can see the
But-
differences now.
But
She's
then
like, prove a point. Then you get the other side to see it.
and you know on the internet is just like, well, like how can I make you look stupid? That's
I
really the
hate
whole
that
point.
shit.
And how could I laugh at you? That's
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like, you know, that's just, it's dumb. It's so pointless. But sometimes I understand it's hard because when you got a million people just attacking you and saying LOL, like you guys think you made a genre.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, that's what it was.
annoying.
It was
What
pretty
was there
annoying.
something that you did specifically that led to that, or just
No,
like
it was he posted the promo video, like he's like saying like,
Literally talking about Speed
Yeah.
House and how I discovered Speed House, not any other genre. And I didn't say I created this genre. I just
You were
said
saying like because you heard Valentino Con Good Enough remix.
yeah.
Yeah, for the first time. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like what is this? Because I hadn't heard it before. Let me try to make something like it. But I didn't know what it was, and I don't think even Valentino Con knew what it was. He kind of
Yeah,
just
there
made
wasn't even
it.
a name for it, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah.
no? J.Slai went on Twitter is like, look, guys, I invented a genre.
Yeah, now I did. Now I
did.
take full. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I coined Latin hard dance. That's my shit.
yeah.
That is
You
very
know,
true.
and then nobody
Very
can take
true.
that away from me because that's like something that
Yeah.
I put on. You know.
Oh my god, we're sitting next to like two genre makers right now. That's crazy. Literally living legends.
No, I think that's pretty cool. Like when you can like do something so unique that like you're in your own lane, like you know created a genre, however way you want to look at it,
Yeah,
you created
for
a
sure.
movement. that's so rare. Like a lot of people, most artists are followers. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh, tech house is cool, I'm making tech house. Techno is cool, I'm making techno. Dubstep, I'm making dubstep. But like you guys made your own genres because you're inspired by all these different things that you just like fusion something completely new from out of nowhere. And that's tight.
You just got to be a scientist sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
An evil
Like, you just be
genius.
like, what if this happens with this, you know? Because it wasn't like I had this like thought. It was just like over like, you know, working production and like trying different things. And then I heard like this Moxie and DJ Snake track, which is 135. And I was like, yo, this is fire. And I'm like, what if I made something like this, but like 145? And then I tried it, and I'm like, and then I asked my mentor at the time, I'm like, yo, what do you think of this? He's like, yo, this is crazy. He's like, yeah, I think you should make more stuff like this. I'm like, okay, let's run with it.
I love that.
Yeah, no, that's really it's really tight, and it happens so naturally. It's not like you guys got in the studio and was like, all right, we're making a genre today.
It doesn't
I
happen
thought
like
I'd
that.
be producing, because that's kind of why I had the name House of Panda, because I wanted to make all kinds of house music when I first started producing, and then it was kind of mainly like just like bass house, electro house, and I didn't have any plans to make anything fast, you know. So and then it just kind of came about, and I'm like, yo, I fuck with this. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
for me it was like I went to Miami, and like this was during the time, I think it was like 2022 or like 2021. I'm not exactly sure,
Is
but
that when you blacked out?
I'm done.
Screen goes black.
anyways, we don't really talk about that.
We'll come back to that after.
Yeah, but yeah, so basically I went to Miami, and like every club we went to was like Latin tech house. Everything.
Oh, I
And-
remember that.
This
year,
was
yeah.
in that
that was
era,
that
baby.
year.
And then I came home, and I wanted to fucking like just listen to Latin music and like the original stuff and like house stuff too. And I was like, there's got to be a way we can make this work. And so that's how I started like kind of like weaving the two genres, hard style, hard dance, into Latin music, and it worked out.
That's
Literally.
It
that's
works,
really
man.
tight.
Yeah.
It
There's
does.
a Dioro Rehab one that just came
Oh
out.
yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
See,
shit.
they're
It's
listening.
like
man.
180 or something.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's
Fire.
wild.
It's like
Yeah.
cumbia and hard dance.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Rehab.
Let's
It's
catch
crazy.
up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's just so cool, especially because like, you know, people don't know this, but I am Hispanic.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
This
no,
guy.
exactly.
What are
Yeah,
you?
I'm Mexican and
What?
Spanish. Yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
I know
El
like
güero.
I know that a lot of Hispanics, there's some connection. I don't know what it is. They love like hard dance, hard stuff.
Oh, yeah.
There's some
They love
connection
that
to
shit.
it. That something about like the fast music. They love that shit.
Yeah.
So it's cool that you were able to kind of connect the two.
Yeah, it just makes sense. It just makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many like Latin hard dance, like Latino hard dance fans in America, you know.
Oh my
Like
god.
you would have like when I went to Wasteland at EDC, I was like, damn, there's a lot of like, you know,
Hella
Latin people here.
Mexicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a bunch of Mexican flags, and that's kind of why I did it. I wanted to represent for those people. Like, it doesn't make sense for us to like not have representation on the lineup when like we're the like a big population of the crowd. You know, it makes no
Yeah.
sense. And so yeah, I'm just glad to like be at the forefront of that.
That's really cool.
You know what that reminds me of? Well, it's a little off, but remember who told you to brand like Jersey? Okay, so let me explain before I even go into this. You know how there's Jersey Club, right? And there's like old school Jersey Club. You know how there's like that festival Jersey Club where people do club music and it's like hard hitting, like mixes of
EDM.
song-
It's like EDM with Jersey Club.
almost.
Yeah.
So like someone told Tim to brand that EDM Jersey Club as Cali Club.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
I won't say who it was. They're a good friend of mine.
They should be roasted on a spit.
No,
for
actually,
that.
I'll actually do you one better. The person that we were
doesn't
working
sound
with, that the main part of this person, this story that we're telling me and Christina that we needed to call it Jersey Bass.
What?
Jersey bass.
Jersey.
Bro, what are you
That would've
talking
been
about, man?
insane. Do you know how many?
Like dubstep, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know how many fucking like Jersey Club like OGs would come after us if we ever fucking did that?
And you're from Jersey. They'd be going for your head.
They would literally
I feel like Jersey Club,
fucking.
you can't really like.
No.
You can't really touch it.
Yeah, it's already its own thing, like so
Yeah.
distinctly, you know.
Yep. Club music is club music. It doesn't matter like how it's done. You can't rebrand it.
Yeah.
Don't. Okay.
And then there's Baltimore.
Yeah.
Philly.
Jersey, Baltimore, Philly.
Yeah.
PB&J. Shout out Unique.
Yeah, so I just feel like in a sense that's kind of like appropriating the culture a little bit because it's basically it's off of the same idea of like Jersey Club, Philly, Baltimore, but it's with like electronic sounds, you know? So it's like, I know it kind of makes it hard to distinguish like, well, that's not Jersey Club because this is what Jersey Club sounds like. I've kind of been more so just calling it club music, which club is music. Kind of like, it's,
because all that fits into club music.
Yeah, it's just like it's because you're not really appropriating culture. It's just you're just a part of like the spectrum of club music. Yeah, and you know because I don't know. I think it's just corny to come up with a new name, especially because it came from Jersey and you're using like the same styles, and it's just like. It's just club music.
You're using Florida the styles at Florida Club on death. You're using the same snaps, the same claps. Like, it's the same thing. It's not.
Yeah, it has to be distinctly, like, different. It's different, you know? That's why I was like, I didn't want to coin it Speed House, like, at the beginning. And then I was like, I had to ask, like, Bass Clap. And I was like, yo, like, do you think this is, you know? He's like, yeah, it's different enough where it's like, you know, it doesn't fit into, like, either of these categories. And I'm like, okay, cool.
And even that hesitation in general just shows how much like care you have for those.
Yeah, because I've been raving since like 2007. You know, I've been in the scene, so I don't want to come in here like you know, because I was still learning. I was just learning to produce too, so I wasn't like I wasn't like thinking I was like the shit. I'm gonna coin my own genre, and I was like. This is not really fitting to any of these like categories when I submit them, you know. So it's like, what can I call it?
I think it's definitely at that point where you're struggling to figure out like what genre to call it, where you need to start thinking about like maybe coining a genre, you know?
Latin Club coming soon.
Hey. Actually, I think they're West Flex and Ecal or Equal. Oh, yeah. They're like coining kind of like this Latin club thing.
Their shit is so
I think that's the only group that I would like give a pass because I feel like they're production as far as like Jersey Club and club music is like bananas.
There's just so
like,
much authenticity
to a different
to it.
Level.
Who is this?
West Flex, Ecal, there's Sniper Bass.
Oh, okay.
In Chile, I think. I want to say they're from. Shout out them. But yeah, they're I was gonna say a Gaimo, but he was
in San Fran or Sacramento, I think.
Yeah, but he works with them a lot.
He works in
But
there's just so much authenticity to it, and like where it's like. You can tell when people are doing things for like the clout, because it's the cool thing.
All you hard techno fucks out there right now, this is for you,
dude.
I said what I said.
Hey, our techno's fucking cool.
I know. I'm not saying the genre is great, but it's the same thing that's happening to fucking Latin tech house when that whole thing happened. Everyone all of a sudden is doing fucking hard techno. Why? What's up? Do you love it? Do you really?
It just reminds me of like my childhood because I was listening to a lot of like hard style, jump style, like happy hardcore, like all that good stuff. And so now that like EDM's kind of back to like high energy, 4 on the floor, which is something I've been begging for years. I'm so tired of rhythm and dubstep.
Yeah, no,
I'm hyped for it, you know. But I do recognize there's
anything that gets popular is gonna be like that, you know. And it's like it's just you can't stop it.
It's just some people are so corny. It's like if you were just making fucking house music the other day, and all of a sudden now like you're making hard techno. It's just like.
Well, people it's like that's how trends work. Just follow trends, right? You know.
Yeah.
Why bother? It's like all the people that keep telling us to like not do Jersey Club anymore because it's not hip. So what?
Yeah.
You know.
That's like super respectable of you guys though, because you guys just keep doing it. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you know how many people have told us
for it. I mean, it still goes off, and
oh yeah, it's always gonna go off.
It plays. The thing is that you know, there's so many DJs that play it, like Skrillex, obviously 4B. Valentino Khan, like you name it, like all these big DJs, they still play it. There's at least an edit of it or something. Yeah. So you can't say that there's no place for it in the industry. I just think a lot of people don't know what it is. And I also think too, something that I've brought up recently is that there are not a lot of good original Jersey Club songs like in the EDM spectrum. Because like a lot of them are most of them are remixes. Yeah. But I feel like you can't make a big genre like blow up off of like just remixes. There has to be some type
Yeah,
of
it's gonna be
originality
like
to
a
it.
big original or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, because
Big,
like,
well, Jersey Club's big in Asia. People in
Oh,
Asia.
yeah.
I know I want to go there so bad.
People keep
Yeah.
trying to
because
get
of
us
it.
out there, but I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's.
I would love to, but I don't know, visas and shit. We're not even.
I got my
we're not at
passport,
that
though.
level. Yeah, I do have my passport. I will go
You
for
gotta
free.
go there for like a month and just like hit up every club. Like, yo, for America,
Literally.
play Jersey Club.
Oh my god, yeah.
Literally, that would be
Crazy.
so fun. But what I was saying earlier is that like, yeah, like it's played in like all these different sets and stuff, but like there's not a lot of like original songs for it. A lot of original takes on it. A lot of people are just trying to make like some crazy drop.
Yeah.
There's no like, you don't like, you're not really listening to it for like the song. You're listening to it for
Yeah.
the drop. And I'm just like, for me, I've kind of just gone with a different approach of like actual like songwriting and like hooking the listener in from the intro and like
Yeah.
wanting to hear the whole song, not just hearing the drop.
Something you can replay like honestly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like not enough people are doing that. So I think that's why it's kind of been a struggle, but I've just been like writing like crazy, just trying to get to that point where I can put out some really high quality like Jersey Club songs that can be on Spotify, that can be monetized and stuff.
Yeah.
And, it goes off and there's, maybe it can inspire a whole bunch of other people to do the same thing,
Yeah.
I honestly feel like there's also this like judgment. I don't think there's like not a place for it necessarily, but I think way too many people have told us like, oh, there can only be one 4B. Like, how far are you gonna go with Jersey Club? You know what I mean? And I just feel like that's such a
shallow
such a
mindset.
small like mindset to have. Like, there's room for all of us. First of all, Unique is out here touring the world right now, so
yeah,
she's
yeah.
also doing crazy things. And Slink is literally like bigger than he's ever been in years. He's touring.
Yeah.
I just feel like everybody can eat.
As long as you just have like your own style of like, you
Yeah.
know, Jersey, like you can have like your own like signature sound or style in that genre, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And it's like, I love 4B Bobby. Like, dude has helped us out so much, like
Shout
put
out
us
to
on
him.
shows. Like, I love him to death, but there also is like room for other people to be a part of it. I feel like a lot of these people, the people that have told us were former Jersey Club producers that now make like house, they make dubstep, and
It's
They-
like all
they
the people
make-
we were just hating on a few seconds ago.
yeah, like they realized that it wasn't going to be easy, so they just like pivoted, and like I just feel like when they pivoted, their music became so inauthentic. Like, I just stopped becoming fans
Yeah.
of them. And it's like, not because I'm pissed that they left the genre, but it's just like when I heard them making Jersey Club, like it was just, there was like passion in it. Like you can
tell
hear
there's a heart there.
yeah,
Yeah.
like it was just like it was fun. But then when they realized that they weren't going to get a handout, that they
Yeah.
were just like, nah, man, I'm going to go do the more popular thing. I'm going to go make tech house. I'm going to make dubstep.
Yeah.
And I've seen maybe 2 people from that whole group where they've actually seen some level of success. Everybody else, I'm like, bro, what happened to you?
They're
You
all
you changed and then you
chasing.
fell off, like respectfully. And it's just like, you should have just stayed doing the thing that you actually wanted to do. And I feel like you'd be a lot better because, quite frankly, I feel like you've just
'Cause you're having
gone
fun,
down.
too, you know?
Yeah, because you're doing. It just seems like what you're doing is so
Yeah.
forced.
You can always pivot. You can pivot like, but you don't have to like completely change genres. But you can like pivot
Right.
sounds and update. You like your sound design or like just trying to innovate like the genre, right? So
Yeah.
Well, essentially, I feel like once you start pivoting for fame and for attention and streams, that's when like it doesn't happen for you. If you want to pivot because you love whatever you're pivoting to.
I think you can
and
only
wanna
do that when you're
incorporate.
like so huge already. You know.
Yeah.
Like when you're like a massive name and you're just pivoting because like you're just considered like one of the top, like the
Yeah.
biggest names.
Like TSO?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can pivot and follow trends because like you're at that level, but like he's not really known for trance anymore. He's just known
Yeah.
as like the king of EDM. So it's like
Yeah.
he's gonna be able to pivot and follow trends. But if you're up and coming and you're always trying to pivot, it's very hard to like make a name for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree that you should kind of like keep your genres kind of limited. Like in the beginning, you should kind of just explore, do whatever
Yeah.
you want. But then I think you should kind of like hone it down. Things that make sense with each other.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes,
for me,
sometimes it works though. I mean, if you're actually tired of the genre and you're like passionate about something else, then it could go really well. Like Camel Fat used to make like happy hardcore.
oh yeah,
I did not know that.
dude, yeah. What was it? Both of them? I know one of them.
One of them.
One of them. Huge happy hardcore legend. I remember when I discovered that he was in Count Fat, I was like, no fucking way. Like just like
Crazy.
like a whole other like genre, like completely different, like just comeback of his career. Like made a big trance songs, big like happy hardcore songs. Now we're making big house songs. It's crazy. Like dude's a legend.
Yeah.
But I guess pivoting back to our story.
I'm dead.
So we were the whole thing of like protecting energy and stuff.
Oh damn. That should be the title of the pod.
Protect
your energy.
my
energy.
I mean, long story short, after that shit, we didn't talk for a while. I feel. Like,
because what happened was after that, I asked, one of the people on the label, and they were like, oh, we're not really friends. We're not really like, hyped on y'all being in a relationship. And so they just started cutting us off. Like literally, like everybody cut us off like one day.
One by one. One of the girls in the group literally blocked and unblocked me.
A soft block.
Literally soft blocked me. And like, this is one of the girls that I thought, I don't know, maybe I just had some vision in my head that like we were good friends. And then after I hit her up and I was like, what happened? And she was just like, I just don't really like relate to like what you're posting about lately. And like, all love though type shit. And I was honestly, that shit set me the fuck off. And I know like my responses are not always the best, but it was hypocritical to me because one of the other people in the group was doing the same exact shit towards me. So it was like, you're saying this about me, but you're not going to hold him accountable as well. Like, this is not, so you're not really the friend that I thought you were.
Yeah. Because I'm sure we've all had like our boy or like our girl or say some out of pocket shit online, and you will pull them aside because you care about them and be like, hey bro,
I had people
that was hard.
I had people do that to me when I was going through this phase. I had people message me directly and they were like, I care about you and I want to talk to you about this because I really care about your well-being. And that just was not done from them. And granted, listen, people don't owe you shit, but if you don't owe me shit, I don't owe you a nice response. So that's how we go. All right?
Got that?
But no, so I mean, everyone, the whole group like ended up cutting us off, and some shit went down on Instagram.
So everybody had cut us off, but the main heads of the main guy, they were just like silent for a while. They just weren't saying anything, weren't really interacting, nothing. And then a series of call outs on social media started happening. Not from us, but from other people.
For them.
They got called out because
like 2 to 3 times.
They got called out because a photographer shot like one of their EDC sets.
They didn't pay him.
They never got paid. Ooh. And they apparently were hitting them up for months about it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I didn't even want to post this video, but I hit him up for like 6 months straight, and it was just nothing. Damn. They were just saying, oh, like, we'll send it to you. And then they got called out on it. Everybody was talking shit. I was staying silent. I wasn't really saying anything. We weren't saying anything. And then they were just like, oh, we had no idea. Like, we sent him the money already. Like, I don't know. There's just always some lame ass excuse. It's like, how hard is it to just pay? Just pay. Literally. Like, I don't think it's that difficult. Especially with their fee being so fucking high. And the reason why I knew how high their fee was because I had somebody in LA that wanted to book them.
What's their fee? What's their fee?
Their fee was insane.
Say it.
I think they had.
Say it.
No, the promoter had a budget of like $10K, and they wanted to put them in a back-to-back with like somebody who does like Moomba, because they all did Moomba, but they wanted to put them in a back-to-back, and they said, oh, like I think it was like 10K was like the budget or something like that. And I had reached out to my friend. I was like, hey, like, what do you think of the budget? Do you like this? And he goes like, I don't know if we can do it, bro, because he's like, that's usually the budget just for one of us. And I was like, so your budget's $10K for people that people barely even know you. Like, you can't even sell your own headlight show
anymore.
Yeah, like, well, yeah, because I guess like, I mean, I had just found out like not too long ago that like they had like their album release party and like only like 100 people showed up, and it was like a really big venue. So I'm just like, if you know what you can sell and what you can't sell, like, you can't be asking for 10K.
Fake it till you make it, you know.
Yeah, I
They were
guess
faking it already.
Yeah,
Jay's 20K, yo.
20K.
Did you hear that?
20K.
Oh, I thought you were. I mean, yeah, me too. 20K.
20K. You guys better match that.
If you created a genre, it's 20K.
20K.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. Right? So that happened, and then the second one we're gonna have to like condense a little bit because it is a long story.
Oh, there's more?
Oh wait, there's more.
Oh, wait.
Because 2 people called them
only chapter
out,
one.
so that was the first one.
Chapter 1.
Chapter 1, I'm dead. But yeah, so for the second one, basically one of our mutual friends had called him out because he was supposed to be on a lineup with them, and they had taken him off last minute. The agreement that they had was that this friend was going to direct support them. That's what they said. And then the lineup comes out and they give out the set times.
And he's the opener.
Opening the show. Oh, you already know who this is.
Yeah, and so yeah. So like, he was.
Well, oh, yeah.
The agreement, like they said that he's like, I will only play the show if I'm direct support. Yeah. Said okay, gets opening, and he's like, yo, what the fuck? And then they're like, oh, sorry, our manager like that
Didn't like the attitude.
No,
manager.
the manager. He said that's his call. It's not mine. But the funny part is that they don't have a manager.
They don't. They've told
And the
us.
reason why is because I remember they told us specifically, because I was like, you guys have like management like help you? And they're like, no, because like no one wants managers because like we're old, and like everyone thinks we're old news, spoiled milk, you know.
Now you are. That's for sure.
And so, you know, they didn't have management, so they were lying. But they're telling him that, and then he said, okay, that's fine, but like next time I would like some communication before, you know, we proceed like in any other future shows or any other things we work together. And they're like, yeah, no problem. So then like he's literally getting ready for the show. He's having a bunch of people drive down like up to 2 hours to go see this man play. And he's about to leave, and they're like, hey, by the way, like, don't show up tonight. And he was like, what do you mean don't show up tonight?
No.
And they're just like, yeah, not my call. My manager said that like they didn't really like your attitude.
Yep.
And you know, there's kind of like no place for that in the industry. So like, you know, we're just not gonna have you show up and play.
No.
And he was like, dude, like I'm already like on my way. Like, what the fuck? So you're just telling me to turn around? He was pissed. And that was my last straw, because you know, that's somebody like I'm really good friends with. You know, we've been friends online for years and stuff. Really fucking dope. And just to do that, and like it was like that's like one of my friends like doing that to other people. I'm just like, bro, that's just not fucking cool. And like with the way you've been treating me, I'm just like, I don't even know who the fuck you are anymore.
Okay, but mind you, like what we said was not that serious. Like,
No,
you had said something along the lines of like, "Sorry, bro. Like, I guess that shit happens or something."
No,
like
I
that.
said like, you know, like a lot of crazy shit has been happening to them recently. Like I don't even know who they are anymore.
Right.
And I remember like,
And I
oh my god, their
something-
responses were so corny. I remember they were like,
well, no, his to me set me off because I had said something like, I guess this is just happening a lot lately. Like, I'm sorry this happens to you. He brought up the work of art on his label. He's like, oh, we did this for you. We did that for you, blah, blah, blah. And I was almost like, listen, fam, you want to talk about things we've done. First of all, you didn't do anything for that goddamn EP. And second of all, you want to talk about the shit we did for you and how we flew all the way to Vegas and did a show for you for free because we love you. Like, all this stuff, it wasn't like it was reciprocated. The love was reciprocated. It's not like we were mooching off of him. So like, what's up?
Yeah, no, I remember. I forgot it was something. This comment was like, "Oh, like Venom like squirted his venom into you, and you became a different person." Like that's what he told. So some stupid shit like that. Like
yeah.
he's like a big comic book nerd and stuff, which I get it.
my
But like
God,
his response was so corny. And then I think I said something. He's like, "Damn, like the venom got you too risky." Like fuck. They were just kind of just saying some shit, and I texted him, and I was just like, "Look, dude." Like, I'm pissed at you. Like, I'm really upset because, like, you're supposed to be my friend. You've been ghosting me. Everybody in the group has been treating me like shit. They, like, turned their back on me. They were giving me ultimatums. Like, one of the people in the group was like, because we were already planning, like, Risky and Friends 2.
You're giving me PTSD at this point.
We're already planning Risky and Friends 2. And I remember we were talking about it, and he was like, look, dude, like, I'll tell you this, like, I'll play your show, but if your girlfriend's not on it, I'm not on it. So he was like, it's either me or your girlfriend.
They were basically all saying that if he wanted to like be friends with them still, like I cannot be in the picture because I was the problem.
And I'm just like, bro, like what do you expect out of that? Like if you go to someone and you say, look, dude, it's either me or your girlfriend. Somebody that you're like, usually if you're in a relationship with somebody, you probably like envision like you're probably gonna spend the rest of your life with them, or like it's a long-term thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so like, do you really think you're gonna be like? So you really think you're gonna be like, bro? It's either me or your girl. Choose.
Fine. I'll tell her to leave.
So it was just
still
stupid.
Speaking in like comic book shit, you want to be an Avenger or not?
Or do you want to join Thanos?
Yeah.
And so, it's just like a lot of shit was happening. And then I remember he was like, okay, you know what, dude? Like, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you like later today. Like we're in Miami, but like we're busy, but we'll call you.
I was like shaking in my boots because I was like, this is getting serious. So as soon as I got off of work,
I told him, hey, I'm off. Let's talk. It's him and his partner on the line. And we're talking about it. I'm explaining my frustrations. And even his partner was like, bro, like telling him like you fucked up because he was like, I don't know where all this like drama is coming from, like why you feel like this. And I told him it all stems from like you blocking from your stories and then telling me I'm protecting my energy. Like, and then his partner was like, bro, like honestly, like I'm on Risky's side and like, we've been friends for like 15, 20 years and like I'm on his side because that's fucked up. Like you have to be transparent with him. Like we're supposed to be a family, like, but then you need to be transparent with him and talk it out and get it over with.
Can I say my favorite part?
Oh, no, we'll get to that. But I remember like they were like trying to like he was trying to insinuate that like we just love controversy. I remember like at one point during the conversation he was like, I know y'all are like
they love controversy.
That we love controversy.
They were like, I know like y'all are like big fans of like Kanye and like Carnage, but that shit don't work, bro. Like you're gonna get blacklisted. Sir. And I was like, that has nothing to do with our personalities and stuff.
That's like, not our brand, bitch. Like,
they were just like, you're gonna end up like Carnage and being blacklisted from the entire industry. Like, why do you think Carnage is changing to Gordo? Like, he can't even get booked anymore because of all this shit. And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, dude. I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, dude, like you're missing the whole point, of what I'm trying to tell you here. Yeah. And so there was no like really much of an apology.
Wasn't a resolution.
There was no resolution. It's just like we just kind of like let all of our frustrations out, and then they're just like, we were like finally done with the conversation, and I was like, all right, well, like, are you gonna call Christina next or like another day? And he was like, oh no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, what do you mean? He was just like, I don't have the energy for that conversation. Like I do not have like a want to speak to her. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
It was at that point that I was just like, honestly, you and all of your friends can go fuck yourself. And like that, mind you, all this stuff.
Just cut it off,
Yeah, all this stuff that we've been talking about, the friends deading us, this guy just like deading us as well. And it was just a big like realization of like the only people that are gonna give a fuck about you like you do is you.
Yeah.
Like no one is going to care about your emotions the way you care about your
Yeah.
emotions. All this stuff sent me into like a huge depression for a long time because I wasn't able to process, and in my mind I was like, well, what the fuck is wrong with me? Like, what am I doing? Why do they not like me, you know? And then we got blessed with like amazing people that came into our lives that made us feel like they loved us for who we are, and
Shout
like I
them
didn't
out.
have to change. Bianca, Yosef, all our homies. It's way too many.
Dial up,
List them all. Nathan,
exclusive,
yeah.
SOS.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, no, the list goes on. All access.
Yeah.
That's how it is sometimes. You know, you just gotta like.
You're not gonna fit in with everybody, and that's
You're
okay.
not. And this industry is very huge, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when you're in school, you're not hanging out with everybody. Like, you know, you have people you get along with, and that's it.
And I have a certain standard for my friends as well. We forgot to say this part, but in that conversation, he also told you that he blocked us from his stories when he was in Vegas because he was hanging out with a promoter that did not like me. And I was just like,
And he didn't want you to show up.
I wouldn't show up anyways, bitch. Like, that was my thing. First of all, I would not show up. If he doesn't like me, more than likely 9 times out of 10, I don't fucking like you either, ho. So
Tell him.
that's how it goes.
You got Jersey written on your forehead right now.
But second of all, it's just like, dude, why would I want my friends hanging out with my ops? Like, unless I'm fully confident, because like, you never know who's protecting your name in rooms that you are not in.
Yeah.
Like, that is my thing. And it's hard for me to build that trust. Now I know some people, but most people, no. Like, why are you hanging out with them?
I think it's like a respect thing. It's like, I'm not gonna tell you who you can and cannot hang out with.
Right.
Like,
but I'm gonna
I think
push
that,
you away.
I think that's like wrong. I'm not gonna tell you like, dude, you can't be hanging out with them. No, like, you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. But like, if you're gonna hang out with those people, I'll just be transparent with like I don't really feel comfortable like being close friends with
And
you.
that actually did happen to one of our friends, is that he was literally like just communicating with them openly.
He was playing
like,
Switzerland.
Yeah, he was playing Switzerland, and there's no Switzerland in my world, babe. Like, I just either you're on your side, stand 10 toes down on it. That's what I have to say. Like, you cannot be friends with the people who gave my boyfriend an ultimatum on being with me or being their friend. That's just not.
No, you
it's a
can
no-go.
be their friends.
No,
we
not
won't.
with, not with me in your life.
Yeah,
Not with me in your. You can absolutely. We're in the U.S. of A. Free will always, but like, I'm gonna remove myself, and I have every right to do that. You know.
I think like I said, it just comes down to respect thing. I mean, like there's even other people that I was close with for years, and like they were friends with them, and I told them like I don't really feel comfortable with y'all like hanging out and stuff, and they're like, well, like I'm not talking shit about you, and they're not talking shit about you, and I said,
I doubt
still,
it.
like I just don't feel comfortable with this. So I said respectfully, like I'm just gonna keep my distance. I'm not mad at you. You do whatever you want, but like
It's
you
all
can't.
love, babe.
You can't like be buddy with them and be buddy with me. It's the way it works with me, at least. And you know, unfortunately, that's just the way it
I don't know
is.
if y'all are the same or if you feel the same as far as that goes. Like, how do you feel about people hanging out with others that do not like you?
Well, I think I like to keep my circle really short, really small, more. So not short. They're pretty tall people.
Yeah.
But no, like, you know, it's I go through like a really long process of getting to know people, and then, you know, I want to see how they act like around my real life friends, and you know, luckily like Panda's like one of the realest guys that I've met. And yeah, we get along really well, but I don't really like try to get buddy with a lot of people because I know like how fragile friendships in the industry are. Like, most of the time they're going to be transactional.
Yeah.
And like I said, you'd be lucky to find people that are like, you'd be willing to call your friend, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta ask, do you guys ever feel bad? Because like, I noticed that I do the same thing. My circle's small. So a lot of people that like try and enter my life, I'm almost like resistant. And sometimes I feel bad because I'm just like, well, what if they have good intentions? But other times I'm just like, well, honestly, I'm sorry. Like, if it's me or you, it's going to be me.
I think you need to have like good like discernment, you know.
Yeah.
Be able to really pick it up if that person is like your type of person or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gut intuition.
Yeah.
I
good-
feel.
Yeah.
For me, it's like you gotta give them like at bats. You know, you gotta give them the chances to prove their like loyalty and honesty, and then that could take up to like years. You know, I have friends that just became my friends like a couple years ago, but I've
Yeah.
known them for like 8 years,
Yeah.
and it's like it took a long process for me to say like, oh, like this person is really serious about their craft. Number one, like if you want to be a friend with me, you gotta be serious about what you're doing. You gotta be able to like invest in yourself. But then on top of that, you have to be like a good person, you know? Because a lot of people, like, they're shitty people. They can have all the other stuff, but they're shitty people, and I don't want to be around that. You know?
Yeah.
Do you
For real.
guys ever notice, like, as far as like industry talks, I call me fucking crazy because this is my theory, and I sometimes I tell people, and like they're like, "Fuck yeah," and other people are like, But if you see someone who has been in the industry for years, right? I'm talking years, and they still haven't hit this point of success that they've wanted, or like that we think is all like the prime part of success. They are not a good person.
I don't know.
Because I feel like if they're talented and you see that they're talented, their music is great, there's like nothing holding them back, and they've been going at this for years on years. They have all the connections that they could ever ask for, and they're still not where they should be.
I don't know. I think that's
It could come down to so many different things too,
You
right?
think so?
Like maybe their brand's not hot, but they're talented, or they just don't have the right, connections to get to that next level, or like I don't know. Or
No, I
maybe
mean, like,
they
they're
get-
friends with, like, Skrillex, Diplo.
Oh, yes.
Like, I'm talking about, like, the top of the
The
top.
whole shebang. Like, you look at them, if you can look at someone and be like, damn, I just don't understand why you're not big right now. Like, have you always found like the solution, or is that karma at work not allowing them to move forward?
Could be. I feel like it could be so many different things. That like it's hard to like pinpoint unless I like know their life story or
Like
like
who
you
it
know,
is,
yeah.
yeah.
there's also like a lot of like shitty people who are super like at the top, you know, and
Really?
they get all these opportunities, but they're like shit people. So it's like
Probably doing brujeria. I feel.
yeah, so it makes me question like, damn, I should be a little more shitty then. Like if it's gonna get me to the top, like I'll share some people
It'd
on the
be
way
like
up.
that
Fuck
sometimes.
everyone.
Fuck everyone.
I've said that quite a many of times. So.
Yeah, there is good people that win too, though. So
Yeah, it's a
not-
mixture, I
not
guess.
impossible, but yeah, you have a little bit of every kind of person. So
Yeah.
I feel like you have to have the right amount of, like, selfishness.
you gotta go hard for
Yeah.
yourself no matter what. You can't like because if you're too
Giving nice.
too nice, then for sure people will walk over you and take advantage of you. That's just that's the industry,
Yeah.
It's
No,
just
and
like-
I've come to experience that
Many a
for so
time.
many years.
But
so.
you gotta go hard for yourself. You gotta talk your shit, and you gotta but also be humble at the same time. Yeah.
The humbleness, please. I feel like that is just essential. Not many people know to just remain humble. I feel like people hit a certain mark and it's like, what struggle?
Well, yeah. The thing about like the industry is like one day you might play like the biggest show of your life, right? And so when I first started, like you would feel some kind of ego boost. Obviously, like it's just natural to
Oh,
do that.
Yeah.
But you have to be able to ground yourself and really stay humble because one day you're gonna be playing like a really like small show, and then the person that you like diss when you were playing that big show is gonna have like to open a door for you. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then now they're gonna remember that one time you were an asshole,
Yeah.
but now you're down.
Yeah.
Right, so it's a cyclical the way that the industry
Yeah.
works. So you just have to be a nice person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Damn. Crazy shit, huh? Excuse me, we've spilt all our tea, but like, you got any shitty friends, fam? Because like, I'm just
I kind of want to know about the
I-
60-year-old.
yeah, who's the 60-year-old that like doesn't know
fuck.
how to communicate?
I mean, there's a lot of that, Like, I think age doesn't really matter in how mature a person is,
Yeah, age
You
is just a
like,
number.
you just go outside out here in America, you can see tons of people that are like over 50, but there's a child in that mindset, that hasn't
Yeah.
matured yet, because especially when it comes to communication. Communication's like something that not everybody's good at, or people work on, so
Not a lot of people like want to communicate. Like,
yeah, people don't like confrontation, people don't like hard talks, but like
Yeah.
those kind of like difficult conversations is what's gonna get things done, or like strengthen friendships or strengthen business partnerships and stuff like that, right?
yeah. I feel like those hard to have conversations
So people
are,
can have them.
but they're also like they're just better off had. It's like it's almost like ripping off a
Especially
band-aid.
if you're in the industry and you've only been surrounded by like yes people,
Yes, sir.
throughout your whole life, and you've never had someone keep it real with you, then
Yeah.
it might not be easy when you're older. But it's probably even harder when you're older.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the older you get, and if you have less of those hard conversations, it gets even harder.
Yeah.
You just avoid it.
You have to remain like conscious of
Yeah.
like reality a little bit personally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally like. I mean, I wish I had tea for you guys, but like,
He's like, my life is not
I mean,
dramatic.
yeah, it's not too crazy. I mean, most of the time, like the bad friends I've had were early in my career, where like people just weren't doing honest things, but it wasn't like as as your guys' story. Unfortunately.
It wasn't as dramatic
Yeah,
as you feel.
it was easy to like just let go of those people because it was like,
Yeah.
okay, we're just both starting, and this person had an ego, and that's it.
Yeah, you didn't really have like that close
Nah,
connection.
well, it wasn't like a never meet your what do they call it? Never meet your heroes. Or-
Never meet your heroes?
Oh, never meet
Yeah,
your
yeah.
idols.
Never meet your
Yeah.
idols. Yeah, I never had like that moment where like,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually like set the bar really low when I'm meeting like these people I
Really?
look up to. I'm like, yeah, he's probably gonna be an asshole, and then like, and I go up to them and like, hey, what's up? And then like they end up being nice. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, he's cool.
There you go.
But if they're an asshole, then I'm like, well, I already set the expectation really low, so I don't give
I
a fuck.
feel like we should have done that from the beginning.
Yeah.
We kind of do that now. We're kind
Yeah.
of, we like prep ourselves like this might not this might not go the way we think it's gonna go.
So who's
but
actually been like really nice that you guys have met?
Unique for sure.
Yeah.
Unique was
4B.
like the person that
Yeah, she seems cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She's not as present because obviously she's like literally a freaking touring the world and whatnot.
Right.
But when she gives me her advice and her thoughts, like there was one time I think it was like right after she took me to EDC, she called me.
Wait. She took you to EDC.
She did.
Let's talk about that. That's cool.
Let's talk about that.
Nice person.
That's a
That
very
was
important
literally
moment.
crazy. Well, I lived in Vegas at the time and she was playing EDC Vegas and she was just like, you coming? Like, we're gonna go. Like we
That's
had
awesome.
talked from time to time, but that was at the point where I was like, oh shit, like she likes me.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it was wild. It's so funny because I had people texting me who were watching the stream and they were like, I see you on the stream. I was like, and then it's so funny because you get messages from people you haven't talked to in fucking
Yeah.
years and they're like, hey,
Hey, what's up?
Hey, can you
What's
get
up,
me in?
fam? How you doing?
I'm trying to go to
Guest
Can you get me in?
But no, yeah, she was a blessing in disguise.
That's
and
awesome.
she had called me not too long after that and she was like, listen, club music is on the come up. She was like, you do not want these cis white men and women coming in and like taking our shit. She's like, you have been doing this. And she's like, I had this call with G-Buck. She was like, you need to be out there more. She's like, I'm not playing
Yeah,
around.
represent.
And I was like, yes, ma'am. Say less.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and it pushed me to kind
Yeah.
of just like, I don't know, like be a little ruthless. Like I, for the longest time, was struggling with TikTok. I still am struggling with TikTok a little bit, but I think everyone battles with the, oh my God, this is going to look corny type shit.
Yeah.
Now I just like,
Yeah, you have to give a fuck, you know?
oh yeah, now I don't give a fuck. I'd be
There's
posting
there's
whatever.
hella corny shit on there.
Oh yeah.
If you think you're corny, there's cornier stuff than
And there's
Okay.
corny shit that's like blowing up. I'm just like,
yeah.
why?
You want to talk corny? Okay, we got people out here pretending to be AI on TikTok Live. Okay,
Yeah.
that is no.
But they're catching the bag though. That's
They're-
what
they are
that-
catching it back.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those people don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's
You
the
know,
secret.
if
Is
I-
not giving a fuck.
Literally. So just like post whatever.
Thanks for the galaxy.
Or wait, have you guys seen that guy pretending to be Miles Morales on TikTok?
They-
And then
they
he
throw
like
galaxies
jumps.
away.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he keeps throwing galaxies.
He looks
and
tired. He looks
No,
tired.
I see
he's
videos of him blowing up
sweating.
about it.
He's like sweating with bottles of water. Like
I've seen videos where he's like, man, fuck y'all and all these galaxy shit. Or I've seen him like, man, y'all ain't doing enough fucking galaxies. Fuck y'all. And just like ends the stream
Galaxy, the
like,
phone?
It's like those
No.
gifts that you give people during their TikTok live.
I think a galaxy is like $5.
Yeah.
it's like the
Oh,
highest.
okay, word,
I think it's like
word,
the highest
word.
one. So
Yeah.
like he'll pretend like he's jumping
Yeah,
through a
like
galaxy.
everyone
It's
does
funny.
something different per each gift that you give. And with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
galaxy, he would like do something where he would like jump off a ledge, and people would send galaxies back to back to back to back.
Oh,
So
wow.
he would like do it.
Just jumping and jumping and jumping.
Oh yeah, he was
Yeah.
just
But
out
dude
of
was
breath.
catching a bag off of him.
Yeah, man.
Oh my
He's
god.
getting paid, so
But yeah, her. Who else would you say is?
I would say 4B
Oh
for
yes.
sure, because
Yeah.
like
I don't know why I forgot about him. He's the reason why I got that first exchange booking.
That was
lit.
big. That was big.
Yeah, he literally is shout out to you, fam.
Shout out 4B.
yeah, no, I mean same thing with me. Like he was the reason why I got on the exchange show. I remember he was playing in San Diego like maybe like 3 weeks before that LA show. And I wanted to ask him, like, yo, I really want to play that show. Like, do you think it'd be possible? You know, but there was no green room situation, and it was really loud. I don't like to be that guy, like, hey, dude, can I play your show,
hate people
please?
that
I want
do
to
that
play so
shit.
bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I just wanted to be respectful and be like, I'll just be cool about it. You know, maybe I'll just text him about it or something. No
Yeah.
big deal. And, you know, I didn't know anything of it, but literally at that point in time, he already knew that I was playing the show. Like, and I guess what had happened was he had told his management, like, yo, I want Risky to play, like, hit up Insomniac so they can send him the offer. And it was like the week of the show, and like he had said that he had asked his manager, like, hey, have the openers like confirmed yet? And they're like, what openers? And he was like, can we hit them up now, please? Because like the show's like in like 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? And yeah, because I remember I talked to him about it in the green room. He was just like, yeah, dude. He's like, when I saw you in San Diego, I already knew you were playing. And I was like, damn. And here I
been
was
nice
wanting
to
to
know.
ask
Yeah.
him about it, and he already had it in his mind, like, no, like you're playing the show, bro, which is tight.
Lit.
You know, like,
that's dope, man.
yeah, like, I mean, he was like one of the first artists to give me like major support,
Yeah.
playing like all my edits and stuff, and that because of that, like, spawned so many like fans online for me
Yeah.
because of him playing my edits. Like, I constantly would get messages like, yo, I heard this song in a 4B set, like that shit's so fucking tight, like I love your stuff, and it's dope. Like, he's very supportive of like the up and comers, and like when he can, like he will put like those up and comers like on his lineups.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And that-
Yeah, that's,
and
that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
And it's like it's really tight. Another one, old name here, Grand Theft.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, Grand
Yeah.
Theft is so fucking
Toronto.
cool. Yeah, I remember he randomly played one of my edits, and I messaged him. I was like, "Yo, thank you for playing it." He like followed me, and like, dude, like we would just have like normal conversations. Like, I mean, like, dude in my head is like a legend. You know, like I remember that Sweet Nothing remix. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I was like in high school when that shit came out. That other shit was so tight, and yeah, like he was always like dope. He's like, yo, like, you know, send me more music, and like he would actually play it. And then I remember there was this one time he was playing like a show in LA, and it was like invite only type of thing. And I was like, oh damn, like you're in LA right now? And he was like, yeah, dude, like here, give me your phone number, like I'll text you and I'll get you on the guest list. And it's so weird because like we had never met in person before, and here he is, he's like here's my phone number, and then like he got me in, and like I just got to talk to him, and he was like super genuine, just like a really down to earth guy. Like for someone that has like so many like hit records like from the trap era, like it was dope to just see him just be like a humble ass dude and just like so real. And this is awesome. I like when you can meet people like that, and they're just like really fucking cool.
Or like a
down
real
to earth.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys? We know you're bromance, but who else have you met that like has not disappointed you?
Lil Texas, man. That
Yeah,
guy.
Texas is cool.
Dude,
He's
those guys are so
amazing.
fucking
I've always
cool.
wanted to meet that guy.
He's so funny.
Yeah, I actually met him at one of his shows in SF. He forgot his cowboy hat that day.
No.
And he's like, yo, because I was already texting him and stuff. And then I was like, hey, I'm going to go to your show. And he's like, dude, I forgot my hat. And I was like, oh, I got to run to Party City. I'll get you a black one. Even if it's like just like one of those Party City hats, he still needs it, you know? Because imagine Lil Texas without a hat.
No.
It's not Lil
just
Texas.
respectful.
It's just Lil.
Yeah, it's just little man.
Yeah, so I got him his hat, and then he was like super, super humble about like just talking to me and like being cool. Then I was like, oh, I'm gonna send you some music, and then he's played out my songs before, and then he supported my song. So yeah, shout out Lil Texas for being real humble.
Yeah, he's cool,
And
man.
he's killing
I
it
love
right now.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
dude.
What about you?
Skrillex is probably like the biggest that's like I've met that I was like, man, this guy's so humble.
You're literally the second person to tell me that you have met Skrillex, and I fucking please, Sonny, if you're watching, I would love to meet you one day. For the love of God, I can't. He's a genius, isn't
that was
he?
like years ago, but like he was already huge,
Yeah.
And he's just such a humble, like cool dude.
I love that.
Takes time to talk to people, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always amazing when they do that.
He even came to the afters when in my hometown, and then he's on the dance floor. And I was like, this guy's just chilling out here. He's not like backstage or anything.
Why wasn't I invited?
Yeah, this is like a while ago.
Oh, that reminds me.
Tour, I think.
Oh, holy shit!
That reminds me of when we missed out on that afters that him and Diplo were at, bro. I wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
We went to Hard Summer last year.
Unique also got me into Hard Summer.
Yeah, she got me into Hard Summer. It was super tight.
I'm gonna become her friend.
Jason wants to go on all the festivals.
It was a fun time for sure.
And I remember, it was like, do we go to the afters or we go to the festival? Because we had to take care of our dog. We didn't want to leave him out by himself for too long. She was also watching another dog, like doing like Rover. So we were like really trying to strategize. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to go to the festival. And she was already at the festival. So I was like, well, let's just go. And like, it was just Hard Summer. Like, it was cool, but like, I don't know. The sets weren't too crazy, and the bottlenecks just to get from one stage to another. Like, I shit you not, like it would take like 30 minutes to get to another stage. But
let me preface this also. Like, by the time he got there, we didn't really get to see many people play, and we went to the Skrillex back-to-back, Fortet back-to-back, Fred again.
No, Fred again wasn't on.
And I'm sorry, but Fortet was really just ruining it for me.
Oh no!
Don't come for me! I swear to God, you fucking internet trolls.
You're done.
Whatever.
You're done.
I said what I said.
Clip that.
Okay, I said what I fucking said.
You're gonna need to ask J.Slai for advice.
I'm just gonna not respond.
Just don't respond. Man.
Don't feed the dragon.
Yeah, don't feed the dragon.
Yeah, it was just I've seen a Skrillex set before. I don't know if you guys have. I know what a Skrillex set sounds like.
Yeah.
And I know what songs Fortet be playing in his sets. I just it wasn't doing it for us.
It just felt like he kept trying to replicate like the country rhythm meme thing with like just other like rhythm songs and like.
Yeah.
It's like you have
it was
success
cool. I just
with
wasn't
that.
like
It's not always gonna like.
It was
work.
my first Skrillex set, and I was just like, damn.
Yeah,
I was a
he
little
was
down.
disappointed.
So we left early because we wanted to beat the crowd, and like I remember like the Uber home was like it was like $20 to get home. And I was like, all right, perfect, let's go.
Yeah.
So then we go when we call for an Uber. They just keep denying us.
Coming to us, like we were literally out there for like an hour and a half trying to catch an Uber, and by the time we were able to catch one, it was $100 to go home.
Yeah,
and we did not live far from the BMO
walked
Stadium.
like
What venue was this?
BMO,
yeah,
right?
BMO
BMO Stadium.
It took us almost 2 hours to get home, and we walked like maybe 2-3 miles away from the venue. Like we're in the fucking ghetto of LA. I don't know where the fuck we're at.
I don't know this place. I'm like,
I was just like, dude. This shit's fucking wild. Like, we just could not get picked up no matter what. Like, we weren't even anywhere close to the festival at that point, and we just still could not get picked up. And there was no street blockages or anything, and like we were super far. So I was like, I don't know why we're not getting picked up. Like people, it would say like, oh, like John is picking you up on Uber, and then like 5 minutes later it'll be like finding you a new driver, and I'm like, fuck, bro, like why are they just denying all of us? It's so stupid. Yeah. And so yeah, we had to like use Lyft, and Lyft was like $100, and then like we got picked up immediately, and I was so pissed. And then
shout out Lyft, sponsor us.
Use code
use code GT.
And then we go in like on our stories, like we're all frustrated and shit, but like we're home, we're like looking at our stories, and then we see it's like Unique, SJ, G-Buck. They're like hanging out in the studio with fucking Skrillex and Diplo. And I was like, fuck, dude.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
And like they're like showing like Diplo like fucking all these Jersey Club songs. I see Diplo like dancing and shit. I was like, bros, like I could have met my idols.
You could have played a song for that.
Dude, literally, I was so pissed. And like, because we had the option, like we can go to the afters or we can do that. And we're like, oh, we'll just go to the festival. Fuck it. If I could go back in time,
that's what we get.
I would go to the afters.
Lesson learned.
Always go to the afters.
Final lesson.
Honestly, the afters are like really cool and where it's at. that. Like that's how you can meet people and get like a genuine like connection with them, get to talk to them and stuff. Because everyone's just kind of just trying to chill. And,
Yeah.
You know.
Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's not great though.
Oh yeah, it has
Sometimes
its
you
good
be
and
like,
bads.
what am I doing here?
Like,
Once
yeah,
that like
the
6
sun's
o'clock in the
coming
morning
Everybody's
hits,
fucked up. I need to go home.
it's like I need to get the fuck.
You look
out of
around,
here.
there's like nothing but zombies. And
Yeah.
okay, this is what I look like.
It was like back in New York. There was this club called Pacha. Real ones know.
Pacha.
Gotcha, yeah.
It would go on till sometimes like 10 in the morning.
Shit.
And I remember I went there like Pride weekend to see Sander Van Dorn
Oh,
because he was
Sander
like
Van
my
Dorn.
favorite fucking DJ at
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
This was like 2015, and Sander gets off, the next DJ gets on, and all of a sudden it's like I blink and it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and everyone was like coming for before the Pride Parade. There were like guys in fucking fireman outfits, cop outfits, just like dancing all over. I'm like, we have to go.
Yeah.
Like we're here. The sun is out, like in the smoke section. I'm like, no.
That's like Space Miami. Space goes
Yes.
fucking
Space.
late.
Yeah.
24 hours, I think. huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes
Yeah.
24.
That's crazy.
Oh my God.
I think that's a good spot to end. I feel like we have so much
Yeah.
content.
Yeah,
Hell
definitely.
yeah.
It's good.
We learned some good lessons. We had a vibe. Plug your socials. We'll add them in.
Okay.
House of Panda or the House of Panda everywhere.
Bet.
And then
Yeah. Want to answer? Yeah. So I go by J.Slai, and it's gonna be J.Slai or JSLAI.
There we fucking
go stream
go,
our new
you
track,
guys.
Speed Wobbles. Out now.
Hell
Hey,
yeah.
Barong.
Let's go.
Input song here.
Right here.
Woo! Thank you guys for tuning in.
Fireworks.
Thank you.
And again, per
Pyro.
usual, nobody cares. Work harder.
Yeah.